Let's welcome back to the show the author of the terrific book, Plan Red, China's Project to Destroy America. He's the one and only Gordon Chang. Gordon, it's great to have you back on. Gordon, can the president and China reach a deal that basically is good for either side and also would help the U.S. decouple from China?
Theoretically, yes, but I think it's going to be extremely difficult. For one thing, Xi Jinping has configured the Chinese political system so that only the most hostile answers are considered acceptable. And the other thing is that what we complain about, the predatory trade practices, the criminal acts, those are inherent in the Communist Party's system. So, yes, maybe President Trump will be able to hammer out some relationship, but I think it's going to be hard. And remember, the January 2020 Phase 1 trade deal, that fell apart very quickly after it was signed. And that's because the Chinese didn't honor it. So there's got to be something different this time. And I think the Chinese now are more trade dependent. They're more dependent on the U.S. So we can all hope, but we got to be very realistic about what can be accomplished in this circumstances.
Well, they're not in a position of strength. We understand how big their economy is, but their per capita income there, the earnings potential, is in like the low 6 digits. Okay, let me back up. You know, the media is not really talking about this. Is the world waking up to how abusive China is? Because it's not just the U.S. talking tariffs on China. So is the EU, so is Mexico, Brazil, Thailand, other nations in Asia. They're looking at China and saying, wait a second, we're going to put new tariffs on you. We're going to protect our own industries. We're going to push our own trade barriers against China. And Reuters is now reporting that Australia turned down. Australia said no to China's offer to join together to fight U.S. tariffs. Is this an inroad that the president can take advantage of?
Yes, and you make an important point, because even last year we saw countries in the China-friendly global south put tariffs on Chinese goods. And I think we're going to see tariff barriers in other countries against China. And the reason is, with President Trump's 145% tariffs, he's basically shutting off the U.S. market. China needs to sell those goods that they otherwise would have sold to the U.S. elsewhere. And I think other countries don't want to see their markets flooded with Chinese goods. In other words, to see their industries decimated by China.
So, final word. So we're hearing China's going to plow $2 trillion into blowing out its factories to dump a tsunami of goods on the world, cheap goods. Can you talk to us about the weaknesses inside China? It's actually, I think the per capita income is anywhere from 5 digits to 6 digits. How weak is China? Final word.
Well, first of all, the economy is probably contracting. We can see this from deflationary price signals. Plus, also, they're having their 2008 now. They delayed their recession in 2008 to now by accumulating a lot of debt. They got to pay it back. They can't do it. And then President Trump puts the tariffs on. Simultaneous crises, Liz. I don't think China can get through this very easily.
Got it. Gordon Chang, you're terrific. Thank you for being with us. It's good to see you.